The billboard wasn't new. That was the worst part. The paint was sun-cracked, the edges peeled like old skin, and somebody had shot holes through the bottom half until the words looked like they were bleeding daylight. Keep your kind moving. Under it, a cartoon van, a peace sign, a long-haired stick figure waving, and a thick red circle with an X slashed through the whole thing. Alan laughed because Alan always laughed first, like laughter could sand down the sharp parts of the world. But my stomach didn't laugh, because right beneath the billboard, nailed to the same post like an afterthought, was another sign, handwritten, fresh. No camping, no loitering, no questions. The road dipped into a town that looked like it had been forgotten on purpose. One main street, a diner with curtains drawn too tight, a bar with no windows, a feed store, a church so white it almost glowed like it was the only thing in town anyone bothered to keep clean. Our van coughed as we rolled in. The gas needle was pinned to E like it had given up trying to warn us. One quick stop, Alan said. Gas, bathroom, then out. I nodded. Yes, out. We pulled into the gas station, 2 pumps, 1 dead soda machine, a hose hanging limp like a tongue. The moment our tires crunched onto the gravel, the town seemed to notice. Not dramatically, no music cue, no cinematic turn, just a subtle rearranging of attention. A man leaning against a freezer stopped chewing on his toothpick, and 2 teenagers sitting on the curb looked up and didn't look away. And behind the station office window, a shadow moved closer to the glass. Alan got out, stretching like he owned the day. He popped the gas cap and went to the pump. I stayed in the passenger seat, hands folded like I was trying to look harmless. The man by the ice machine stared at our stickers, the peace sign, the faded rainbow, the sunburst decal we'd picked up in Santa Cruz and slapped on because it felt hopeful at the time. Y'all lost? He called. Not friendly, not curious. Alan smiled anyway. Just need gas. The man spit, not taking his eyes off us. Town's got rules. Alan's smile twitched. We're just passing through. Across the street, the diner curtain shifted. And then, like a cue someone gave backstage, a lifted truck rolled into the lot. Loud, slow, certain. It parked behind us, not blocking the pumps exactly, but close enough that the message pressed against my ribs. We're here now. 3 men got out. Work boots, clean denim, baseball caps pulled low. They didn't look drunk. They didn't look wild. They looked like men who knew the layout of this exact gravel lot by heart. One of them walked straight to my window and tapped on the glass with 1 knuckle. Not hard, not threatening, just claiming my attention. I didn't roll it down. He leaned forward anyway, peering through the glass like he owned the air inside the van. "Where you from?" he asked. His friends laughed softly from near the truck, like the answer was already funny. I kept my voice neutral. "Just traveling." He smiled, but it didn't reach his eyes. "That ain't what I asked." I didn't answer. He tapped again. "You hear me?" Across the lot, Alan had reached the office door. He paused when he saw the truck positioned behind us. His eyes flicked to mine. I gave the smallest shake of my head. Not okay. The man at the window straightened, speaking louder now so Alan could hear. "Your boyfriend gonna behave?" he called. Alan forced a smile back onto his face like he was pulling on a mask. He held up a few bills and went inside the office. The door shut behind him, and the gravel lot seemed like it got a lot smaller. The man at my window circled the van slowly, looking at the blankets in the back, the milk crate of food, the way we lived out of it like a secret. Another man walked to the rear of the van and peered in. The third leaned on the truck like he had all the time in the world. Then the first man came back to my window. "You got anything in there?" he asked, casual. "Clothes," I said. He tilted his head. "You sure?" "Yes," I replied, a bit coldly. "I'm sure." He smiled again. "Town's had trouble with your kind." "My kind?" I asked. He shrugged like it was obvious. "You know, drifters, hippies, folks who don't understand boundaries." He let his eyes travel over me slowly. Hair, thrift store sweater, necklace, like he was reading a label. "You're California," he said. It wasn't a question, so I didn't bother replying. His smile widened. "Thought so." My throat went tight. I focused on breathing through my nose, slow and invisible. From inside the office, I heard muffled voices, not words, just tone, low, controlling. Then something sharper, a chair scraping, Alan's voice louder, and then very clearly the sound of a hand striking a counter. I flinched. Outside, the men watched me flinch and seemed pleased by it. One of them chuckled and said to his friend, "See? She knows what's up." The office door opened. Alan stepped out, empty-handed, face pale, jaw clenched so hard it looked painful. He didn't look at the men right away. He went straight to the pump, grabbed the nozzle, and started pumping quickly. He leaned toward my window without turning his head, and I rolled it down. "Lock the doors," he said, low. My finger shook as I clicked the lock and rolled the window back up. The man near my window grinned like I'd just followed an instruction he had given. Alan finished pumping barely a few gallons and shoved the nozzle back like it offended him. He climbed into the driver's seat and turned the key. The engine coughed, once, twice. Then the whole van went dead, like someone had cut its throat. My stomach dropped so fast it felt like falling. Alan tried again. Nothing. Outside, the men didn't move. They didn't react with surprise. They reacted like spectators when the show finally gets good. The older man, thin, sun-leathered, eyes like old disappointment, stepped out of the office doorway. He didn't hurry either. He walked like he owned time. "You can't leave till you settle up," he called. Alan leaned out the window. "I paid cash." The older man pointed at the pavement near the pump. A dark, wet spot, could have been oil, could have been water, could have been there all day. He pointed at it like it was a crime scene. "You left a mess," he said. "Your kind always does." Alan's voice went careful. "What do you want?" The older man smiled slowly. "Maybe I want to look inside," he said. "See what you brought into my town." Alan's fingers tightened on the steering wheel. "No," he said. The air changed. The men shifted closer. The truck stayed where it was. The ice machine guy stopped chewing. Even the teenagers on the curb leaned forward a little. The older man's smile thinned. "Funny," he said. "You say no like you got a choice." Alan tried the key again, like maybe stubbornness could start an engine. Nothing. The man near my window leaned close enough that I could see the dirty pores in his skin. "Doors are locked," he said softly, amused. "That's cute." He tapped the glass again. And then he did something small, so small it almost didn't register. He reached into his jacket and pulled out a key ring full of a jumbled mix of keys. He held them up where I could see them. "They don't always lock," he said. My blood went cold, because keys mean planning. Keys mean this isn't the first time. Alan's head snapped toward me. He saw the keys. His face changed again, less angry now, more focused. The older man took another step closer. "Open it up," he said to Alan, voice still calm. "Or we open it for you." Alan swallowed hard. He looked at me, and the message in his eyes was so clear it hurt. If they get in, you run, even if you have no idea where. The man at my window lifted one of the keys and brought it toward the door handle. And from the diner across the street, a voice cut through the lot like a knife. "Dale!" Everyone turned. A woman stood in the diner doorway holding a coffee pot in one hand like a weapon. Apron on, hair in a messy bun, eyes sharp enough to split stone. Her voice didn't shake. "Not today," she said. Dale's face tightened. "Go inside, Stacy." She didn't move. "You want to do this?" she said, loud enough for the whole town to hear. "You do it on your own turf. You don't get to do it like this." One of the younger men laughed. "Ain't your business." Stacy's eyes snapped to him. "It becomes my business when you drag my place into it." Dale's smile turned ugly. "They broke down." Stacy pointed at our van. "They didn't break down. You broke it." Silence. Then another sound behind the diner. A car door slammed. Footsteps. A man's voice closer. "Stacy?" A figure appeared behind her. Bigger, older, mechanic shirt, hands stained dark with grease like he'd been pulled straight out of work. He took one look at the scene and his expression went flat. "What is this?" he asked, at Dale, not at us. Dale's smile twitched like it wanted to stay in place but couldn't. "Just handling a situation." The mechanic's eyes moved to the truck parked behind us, the men, the keys. He didn't raise his voice. He walked around to the back of the bus, staring angrily at the man near the back. After a minute, he said to Alan, "Try it now." Alan stared. "What?" The mechanic nodded once. "Turn the key." Alan hesitated, like the whole town had become a trap, but he turned the key. The engine caught instantly. Clean, strong, like it had never been dead at all. My stomach dropped again, but this time with certainty. They'd killed it on purpose. Alan slammed it into gear, but the truck behind us lurched too, finally moving, trying to block, and Dale raised one hand, palm out. Not to stop his people, to signal something else. The men scattered like they had been trained, and the ice machine guy reached under the counter inside the office as if he was grabbing for something he had been keeping there. Stacy shouted, "Go, now!" Alan hit the gas. The van jumped forward, and a loud metallic clang sounded from underneath us, like something had been hooked, caught, attached. The steering wheel jerked in Alan's hands. The van pulled left. Alan swore, fighting it. I looked out the passenger window and saw it, a chain, looped from the truck's hitch to something under our van. A tow chain, tightening, dragging us like we weren't leaving, like we were property. Alan's eyes went wide. He hit the brakes and the chain snapped taut. And the van rocked violently, my head slamming back against the seat. Outside, the men laughed. Dale smiled. And Stacy's face changed, because she hadn't known about the chain either. She took one step forward, shouting something I couldn't hear, and the truck behind us gunned its engine, the chain yanking again. The last thing I saw before the van lurched hard enough to knock the breath out of me was Dale lifting his hand like a conductor, as if this was the part of the show he liked best. If you want part 2, what happened when that chain went tight and the whole town decided we weren't leaving, hit subscribe, like, and comment chain so I know you're still here. If you're feeling trapped, unsafe, or in danger, please reach out. In the U.S., you can call or text 988 for the Suicide and Crisis Lifeline. If you're in immediate danger, call 911.